All righty. Welcome everyone to the first ever session of Product University. I am so excited to host this essentially and to take you all through the various different tenets of K-Beauty, the various different philosophies that back Riman products. I am just so honored and so blessed that you all want to know this information. And last I checked, I think over 500 of you signed up, and that just absolutely warms my heart. That it almost makes me emotional just because I really appreciate the attentiveness to this education that you all have showed me throughout the last year. So today is a very special one. As I had mentioned, it is our first session of Product University. We're going to have 8 in total. So thank you all so much for being here. And without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So today's topic is the Riman product philosophy. And with this topic and with many topics in the upcoming Wednesdays, there might be an initial thought of, oh, I already know this, or she's talked about this before, but we are going in depth. We are going in regards to the very history of Riman, the history of our founders, of our chairman, and of KJ, all that good stuff that just really helps you appreciate Riman as a brand. So with our product philosophy, there are 5 main tenets or product values that we focus on throughout our formulations. So just very briefly, we focus on being rooted in tradition, backed by science, sustainably sourced, simple and holistic, and promoting a difference you'll love. And so today we'll go through each of these in detail to understand what we're really meaning when we say these product values. All right. So first, I mentioned rooted in tradition. And to understand the tradition, especially the tradition as seen through Mr. On's eyes, we have to look at how Mr. On came to really appreciate Riman as a concept and eventually as a brand. So Mr. On is our founder and our CEO. He's been in the industry for 25 years. And in the early 2000s, he was actually at a world direct sales competition in London. It was a showcase. And he began to develop this dream for a brand that focused on immediate results and safety. And those are the 2 main tenets that he focused on in the formulations. That's all he wanted, is something that's efficacious, but good for your body. There's no irritation potential. There's no, adverse reactions, all that stuff. And Mr. On was really focused on efficacy and safety in his formulations. And ultimately, he came up with the name for Rimon's main skincare brand, which is Inselderm. And this was an extremely purposeful naming of the brand. So it's actually a cute way that he came up with this. He has 3 kids, and they are his pride and joy. And he was looking at his youngest daughter's skin as he was laying her down to sleep. And he was kind of just analyzing and saying, look at this beautiful, youthful glow that she has on her cheeks. How wonderful is this? And where does it go as we age? What happens in the cellular level that causes us to lose that youthful glow? Thusly, Inselderm was born. So Inselderm in short stands for in cellular dermatology. So really we are looking at the cellular level of health and of essentially bringing back that youthful glow by establishing a healthy skin base and establishing a routine that allows for intense hydration, glow, and overall just a more succinct skin environment, so to speak. So that's where Inselderm came from, is actually him just looking at his youthful daughter's cheeks, which I just think is the cutest thing. So understanding now that we wanted to be rooted in efficacy and in safety, and we wanted to be focused in tradition, we again now are looking at the tradition of K-beauty. So in our concept as a K-beauty brand, we like to look at the power and prowess of K-beauty. So it is no secret right now that K-beauty is trending. There are many different brands on the market. It is beautiful for its packaging, for its ingredients, for its efficacy, but we are here to promote that K-beauty is not a trend, or it's not as, while it is trending, it is not a trend. It's not something that will come and will go. It will stay for the long run. It has that staying power because of those undeniable results. And similarly, with understanding its staying power and its results, you have to understand why this is the case. And it's because of the formulation characteristics that K-beauty promotes. So K-beauty focuses more on protection and prevention rather than problem solving. So with Western systems of skincare, oftentimes you will have maybe spot treatments or retinol treatments that, yes, work and work quickly, but at the cost of your skin, at the cost of your skin barrier, you're tending to get inflammation, etc. Or you are already trying to address a problem you've already had, such as blemishes. So we're focusing here on just uplifting the skin as a base, such that you don't need to address these issues because your skin is already that healthy that these issues don't occur. So we focus on utilizing gentle ingredients and keeping harsher actives like AHAs and BHAs to a minimum to maintain your skin integrity. And that is crucial. So this goes back to Mr. On's importance in regards to safety. We are wanting to treat our skin, but you have to do it with zero cost or compromise to your skin barrier. So really, that's why we also focus on safety testing for a lot of our products, just to really maintain that skin integrity promise. Lastly, a big step in regards to K-beauty is that multi-step aspect of it. Prescribing or ascribing to these rituals that have multiple different steps, be it different products or even just bouing with the same products. These are all purposeful because you need to stay consistent with these ingredients to see results. So this is the first tenet. This is rooted in tradition in terms of our product values. That next one then is that while we are rooted in tradition, we are backed by modern science. And to understand the science that backs us, we have to look at two really big parts of the Riman formulation process. And that's going to be our Ask Base and Ask Lab. But firstly, we have to look at what ask even means in terms of these two names and these two entities. And probably the greatest quote that just kind of mirrors what it all means is the ask will find the answer. So Ask is a three-pronged company. It's Ask Company, Ask Base, and Ask Labs, all established by Riman. This is not a company that we work with. It is a company established within Riman. And really, this Ask company is kind of just always gearing towards establishing hypotheses and working towards the eventual solution or answer to that hypothesis. And really, there's no settling with that answer. Once you find the answer you're looking for, it just opens the doors for asking more questions. So really, it's embracing the creativity that comes with being curious. So that's really kind of the art behind the different Ask companies that, Ask Base and Ask Labs. But for the purpose of looking at our second product value, which is rooted in science, we have to look firstly at Ask Base. So what is Ask Base? Ask Base is actually located on Jeju Island. If y'all remember, Jeju Island is that beautiful island off the coast of South Korea, which we source a lot of our resources from. But this base is actually on Jeju Island, which really allows us to have a really close connection to these resources. And its main mission statement is to set forth to constantly explore bioactive compounds found within Jeju's natural resource. And so it's really cool. At the bottom here, we actually have a timeline of Ask Base. So you can see how it blossomed to be this major company and this major backing behind all of our formulations. And again, this is all part of Riman. This is not a company we work with. It is us. So it started in 2019. And then if you can see, on the timeline, it actually became Ask Base in 2021 and then took over the Hyundai Bioland plant. So it is a huge building that it actually operates out of. And this allows for a lot of different operations to occur on the day-to-day. And so then we later established the cosmetics and skincare ingredients processing plant in 2022, April, of 2022. And then finally, we moved to Jeju Island officially in July. So Ask Base is fantastic. For those who may be able to visit Jeju, I hope you definitely can see it. But at Ask Base, we actually have, as I mentioned, our Jeju processing plant. So this is where we not only research those raw materials, those raw resources, but it's where we also actually cultivate them for eventual processing. So Ask Base actually creates most of the raw materials in the Riman product lines that have, key performance values. So that's going to be our Byungpul leaf extract, soapberry, mugwort, nettle, camellia seed oil as well. And this is all extremely important because they essentially control the production of these raw materials to the supply of the products. So it is not uncommon in the industry for a brand to work with various different suppliers to get essentially various different raw materials to create a finalized finished good. But here we are the people creating a lot of these different raw materials. We have complete access to the Byungpul leaves, to the camellia seed, and to the nettle extract. So really just allowing for us to continue kind of that Riman innovation, even at the raw material stage of a formula. And what's also extremely crucial in understanding Ask-Base is because it is supervising this development of these different raw materials, we commit ourselves to GMP or good manufacturing practices and submit ourselves often to high level inspections just to really maintain quality of these different processes. So Ask-Base is where we get the raw materials, both in research and in fruition when we finally eventually incorporate them into formulas. But to understand then what those formulas are doing in terms of their efficacies, in terms of their safeties, and in terms of their innovation, that's when we turn to Ask Labs. So Ask Labs is the sister company to Ask-Base and eventually to Ask Company. And this is where we are researching. This is where all that innovation and all that good stuff occurs in regards to that Riman innovation. So at this research center, we also work really closely with the Korea Research Institute of Bioscience and Biotechnology to develop and understand different materials and eventually different formulas, both in skincare, hair care, and food science. So for example, at Ask Labs, there's a lot of research done in regards to microalgae. If you'll remember, dessert E. coli is actually microalgae. So research into different extracts of that. We also have our research in terms of the microfluidizer processor and officially finding out how to create a 100% microfluidized formula, which is showcased in the Radiance 100 line. All of that magic and that science happened here at Ask Labs. And so Ask Labs actually has 3 different sectors. So we have our cosmetic research lab. That's where the formulation and innovation for skin and hair products occurs. And again, with the ultimate promises of maximum efficacy without skin irritation. So that's where we're doing not only the testing in regards to, the primary performances, but also the testing in regards to primary potential or lack thereof of irritation, etc. So this is where we kind of set up different formulations before we eventually get them third-party tested. Secondly, we have that Food Research Institute. So that's going to be where we're doing all the lifening formulations and kind of looking towards functional food ingredients, how to better essentially sustain your health from the inside out. And then lastly, and I would say most importantly, is our Byungpool Research Institute. So this Byungpool Research Institute allows for the developmental research of our hero ingredient and its benefits. So here is where we not only already discovered, that higher antioxidant activity, that anti-wrinkle performance, the hyperpigmentation reduction, but where we are continuing to innovate with our hero ingredient, with that giant Byungpool, understanding what else it can do for our skin, and to essentially revolutionize the processing and cultivation of this leaf as well for better benefit to the human body. So Ask Labs and Ask-Base are at the source of our tenet of being backed by science. All right, that third tenet is going to be sustainably sourced. So at Riman, sustainability isn't simply a practice, it is a promise. So already we have made various different moves towards a more sustainable business mode, whether it's in terms of the formulation process, in terms of the packaging, or in the distribution. But we will never stop at what we're currently at. We will always strive to be as environmentally friendly as we can. So what I have listed here is not the end of our sustainability story. So right now, a lot of the packaging for our Riman products will have an FSC mixed label on it. So it'll say FSC, and then right where it says 100% on the picture here, it'll say mixed. And so what that means is that it's made of a mixture of materials from FSC certified forests, from recycled materials, and from controlled wood resources. So this is just one way in which we are respecting our environment within our packaging. And there are millions of units of these products created. So it really does have an impact on the environment. And with this FSC packaging, the package of sort of itself might, of course, be a little bit more susceptible to bending or to creasing because of this recycled status, but that is, a sacrifice we were willing to take. And I believe you guys as consumers were willing to take as well for the better good of the environment. So FSC, that one's huge. And then the second one, of course, is that the entire Bodolab line is certified Eve vegan. So all of our products are cruelty free, and that is a fact, that is a hard stop. But with Bodolab as well, we focused on completely vegan formulations and total, essentially natural extracts and things of that nature. And then lastly, and I would say really importantly, is our furthering of packaging initiatives. So recently, we actually had a couple of different things in the news in regards to our adoption of PLA PHA packaging. And so PLA PHA stands for a very long chemical name in regards to the composition, but essentially we are beginning to adopt different packaging on our dermatology EX line. So it's going to be the booster, the serum, and the active cream, and then the Viatin oil mist bottle. And all of these are going to be essentially made out of plastic alternatives. So we are phasing out that plastic and we're going to be putting in biodegradable resources, so to speak, on things that we sell millions of units of. So again, this is going to just have an amazing impact on our sustainability, but it is not the end. This will continue on as we continue to find different ways, creative ways to respect our environment. Ooh. All right. And so the fourth one is going to be simple and holistic. And for me, when I think about simple, I think about our three tenets. So our three tenets are those three tenets of K beauty that really kind of frame the entirety of our product offerings, specifically in our skincare line, but also in the Bodolab as well as the Lifening lines. And so those three K tenets are going to be cleanse, hydrate, and protect. So with cleanse, of course, you're just removing daily impurities, but also prepping your skin for further treatment. Hydrate is extremely important because after you have cleansed your skin, removed those impurities, your cells want water. They want the maintenance of their moisturization and hydration barriers and levels. So that is that second tenet of hydration. And thirdly, protect. So providing security for, outside external aggressors like UV rays, like pollution, just to really help with the extra layer of protection. And so with these three tenets, that's why I find Riman to be simple, because regardless of the amount of different potential rituals you can ascribe to, as long as you're satisfying each of these three tenets, you're golden. You have created a self-care experience. And thusly, you've holistically, not or simple rather, but also holistically treated your skin and your body, because these ingredients and these products focus so much on those heritage ingredients, focus so much on total body wellness. And so that second prong, that holistic aspect, isn't just for your skincare. With our Lifening line as well, with the Deep Talk and the Collagen Ampule, it's a total body experience. You are focusing really on just health, just self-care and health, and being a better you and a happier you ultimately. So our fourth prong is really delivering simple and holistic products that you understand using and that you are able and confidently able to share with others. And so that brings us to our fifth and final product value, which is a difference you'll love. So as many of y'all know, experience the difference, a difference you'll love is our tagline, but it's for good reason. So oftentimes you might have already 3 or 4 different moisturizers in your cabinets, and you go to the store and it's not like you were looking for anything, but you see another moisturizer and maybe it has different packaging or a different call out ingredient. It's different. And because it's different, you pick it up and you buy it. Now you have 5 moisturizers. So really what we're saying here is that we are that difference you're looking for, even if you didn't know you were looking for it. We are going to provide products, stories, and experiences that will really just supersede anything you've experienced before. And that is the Riman difference. And one of the things I loved also, I believe Dr. Saul said this in discussion I had with him last year, is that he said a difference is what's created. So you so often can think up cool things or maybe suggest different ways to formulate or maybe a new product, but nothing is different until it's come to fruition, until it's actually made. So that's another driving force behind Ask Base and behind Riman, is creating that difference. That's actually something we want to do. So that is the difference you'll love here with Riman. So that's it for today, y'all. And I know that was quick, but I really want these product universities to be quick bursts of just really good information that you all can appreciate and enjoy. So those are our 5 main product values that back Riman. And what's really cool is that our team actually went ahead and created a worksheet, or excuse me, an outline for you. So if you actually scan this QR code, we have an outline that just sums up everything that I have said today, so that you can go back and you can reference it if ever you're curious about the Riman product philosophy. And I believe we're also going to drop the link in the chat as well for those who can't scan the QR code. But feel free to just kind of look back at this, maybe print it out as your session 1 worksheet, not only as kind of like a little title that you came today, but also just to kind of keep that information at hand. So we've created that outline for you. Next week's topic, Giant Byungpool and Jeju Lava Energy Water. And I know I've talked about these products or these hero ingredients so many times, but this one, as I've said, is going to go in. It's going to go into the different processes in terms of our smart farm, in terms of the patent we hold on Giant Byungpool, the different research papers as well. This is going to be really intuitive in regards to these 2 hero ingredients and how these actually allow us to be unique and allow us to promote that Riman difference because we have exclusive access or exclusive formulation usage of these products. So do not miss next week. I'm sure none of y'all will, but just so you know, that's what's coming next week. And then March 13th, definitely keep it in your calendars. So our March 13th session, it's going to be a Q&A session. So instead of just me talking to y'all for 20-30 minutes, I'm going to actually come prepared with questions and answers that you have submitted to me. So please send any questions you've been dying to ask to ritual@riman.com by March 1st. And we will go through and we will select either the most commonly asked questions or questions that I think are really important for people to know, and they'll be featured on this Q&A session. So make sure you get your questions in by that March 1st date, again, to ritual@riman.com. All right, and then I just had to plug this one more time, but just a reminder to all of y'all, the pre-sale is coming up. It's next Wednesday. It'll open just an hour before our second session of Product University for our collagen mask. And this collagen mask is a game changer. It's a limited time product, so you have to get your hands on it, but it is 100% collagen created with nanofibers that have really enhanced ability to absorb into the skin for a promotion of that more youthful glow and more plumping. So really, I hope you guys can check this out. Only 1 week away. I hope you're as excited as I am, but that's the pre-sale again. Oops. Right. And that is all for today. Thank you again so much for joining me. I know it was short, but I hope that you got some good information from it. I so look forward to these different talks and being able to show you all a little bit about Riman more in depth. So I hope you enjoyed today. But on that note, I will see you all next Wednesday for Product University Session 2. See you then.